It's been a massively important spot in Toronto since the beginning. Welcome to Then and Now, the series that brings Toronto's past back to life. I am Morgan Cameron Ross. Today, we're talking about the history of St. Lawrence Market. Most of you have spent weekends there picking up produce and groceries, or maybe you spent your time across the street at the Old North Market looking for antiques. But what we call St. Lawrence Market today is a location that has served a fairly similar purpose since the beginning of Toronto itself, in the same location even. That spot of land has been the main market in Toronto since the turn of the 19th century. The area around Front Street, Jarvis, just south, and up to King Street has been home to many buildings, all revolving around the selling of food and goods to the city. Since its renovation in 1977, the South Market has been far more gentrified. But for 170 years prior to that, it was a rough and tumble working market with livestock and poultry. Firstly, we have the St. Lawrence Market South, right here. Here it is in the 1950s. St. Lawrence Market North looked like this from 1968 until 2016, but that was one of many buildings that had sat there. Here is a view facing north up Jarvis from Front Street towards St. Lawrence Hall, with St. Lawrence Market North in the foreground in 1898. And now, as they are building a new version of the space. Here is an interesting view facing east down Front Street towards the market in 1952, just prior to them taking down the large awning over the street. We view the area as cleaned up and fairly trendy these days, but if you look at the neighborhood as recent as the 1970s, you will see a very different view. Here are some photos of the neighborhood then. Run down, dirty, and primarily made up of parking lots. Compare that with these photos from now. A good example, as is its neighbor in the Distillery District, of repurposing industrial areas in the city. St. Lawrence Market South, though, also was home to Toronto's main City Hall and police station for decades, until quote-unquote Old City Hall at Queen and Bay opened in 1899. The City Hall was inside this market building. But what has to be understood is that during the 19th century, Toronto was almost entirely in this area. Bloor Street was viewed as the city limits. High Park was where some well-to-do Torontonians had summer cottages. So this area we're seeing in these photos right now was more or less the city's epicenter. So renovations are now well underway for the new Northern Market. The pandemic has hurt, well, everyone. But what we can rely on is that when the world gets back to normal, this will still be our market. One that in 2012 was named by National Geographic as the best food market in the world. That's it for this episode of Then and Now. I'm Morgan Cameron Ross. Catch you next time on Narcity.